going to talk about the first settlements in the United States, Roanoke Island and Jamestown. And to understand the first settlements in the United States, you really have to go back to what's going on in England, since they're the ones who start these settlements. And England is controlled by this monarch right here. Her name is Queen Elizabeth. And England is in the midst of a boom time, really. This is the time when Shakespeare is writing in England. It's the high Renaissance in England. They have defeated this huge Spanish armada of ships that have tried to invade. It's a glorious time in England. She's a popular queen. She's queen for a very long time. And England really wants a piece of what their arch enemy Spain is getting. Spain is finding all this gold, all this silver in places like Mexico and Peru. And so Queen Elizabeth dispatches one of her favorite persons, if you will, his name is Sir Walter Raleigh, to take a few ships, a few settlers, and go settle a piece of the Americas. And they end up in a place called Roanoke Island, just off the coast of North Carolina. Sir Walter Raleigh drops them off. They have these hopes of finding gold. He says, I'll be back in a year to resupply. Walter Raleigh's never able to come back. He does send his captain back. But the captain doesn't get back for a few years. England gets caught up in some fighting against Spain in Europe. But when the British do get back to resupply their colony on Roanoke Island, they find it abandoned. It's a ghost town. There's nothing there. Vines and whatnot have overgrown the small little village. And the only thing they find is from this picture right here. They find this carved into the tree, the word Croatoan. There's no account of what happened. And this word Croatoan, well, it's the name of a local Native American tribe. So there's this idea that who knows what happened to the people on Roanoke. They could have been killed by the Native Americans, died of disease. We don't know. Suffice to say, this first foray into the Americas ends in a big disaster for the British, and Queen Elizabeth will not venture back to the Americas. It won't be till a few years after her reign, Jamestown is founded, a little further north, and King James, now in charge of England, sends this group to settle the Americas. And again, same mission. They're looking for some of that gold. Everyone thinks there's just tons of gold in the Americas. Well, it doesn't take them long to find out that, one, there's no gold in this area, and two, it's really a horrible location, Jamestown. It's very marshy, very swampy. There's tons of mosquitoes. It leads to lots of malaria. People are dying at an alarming rate. People are just looking for gold. They're not focused on building up a community. And so England sends in a really important character in Jamestown history. His name is John Smith. John Smith is a soldier, and he lays down the law in Jamestown. He forces people to work on things like farming, things that are going to benefit the society instead of wasting time looking for gold all day. They build this nice little fort here that you can see. They clear some land, farm some stuff. And then John Smith makes it a goal of his to make an alliance with the local tribes, local Native American tribes, who are beginning to kind of question these outsiders who are coming in. And the local tribe in the area is the Powhatan tribe, led by Chief Powhatan. King James goes to negotiate with this chief, essentially gets kidnapped, and the story goes that he's to be put to death, but who intervenes on his behalf? Supposedly the chief's daughter, and the chief's favorite daughter, Pocahontas, intervenes on his behalf, saves John Smith, and essentially lets John Smith cut that deal with Chief Powhatan, which ensures the survival of this small little colony on Jamestown. And here's the other big kicker. Jamestown, they quickly realize there's no gold in the area. But what do they find that's going to benefit them to a very, very, very large degree? This right here, tobacco. They find this leaf that the Native American tribes, they pick the leaf off, they dry it, roll it up, smoke it in a pipe, and they find it's very addictive, and it becomes incredibly popular in Europe. And so Europe becomes hooked on this nicotine craze. And where are they getting these tobacco leaves from for the most part? They come from Jamestown. So Jamestown ends up being successful despite all of its early hardships. And what is its big savior? This resource right here. Tobacco is the savior. So while they go looking for gold, they find tobacco, and that begins the English settlement in the Americas.